I'm revealing new cards every single day until Frostfall pre-orders open on April 5th. Let's dive in. All right, I'm super excited for today's reveal. We got some chilly new Elestrals to talk about today, and I hope you guys are stoked. We're just a few days away from that pre-order opening up. We've been revealing a ton of Elestrals, and some of the best are yet to come, which is super exciting. And just a friendly reminder, today, the 31st of March, is the last day to get that discount code on our first edition booster boxes at shopelestrals.com. So use code SSMarch10 to receive 10% off your booster box order if you're a Shattered Stars subscriber. And of course, April 1st is when Shattered Stars Frost is going to be throwing down. It's going to be super hype. But let's talk about new Elestral reveals and new cards. The first one being Narpoon. This is a beautiful little Narwhale Elestral that is a 4/3 attacker with 1 cost water, and its effect is very simple. When you normal cast this Narpoon, you can search your deck for a 1 Spirit Frost Elestral and add it to your hand. This card is really important for Frost because it gives out of element search, which is pretty typical, right? But it gives a pretty solid body. 4 attack is actually really good for a searcher, right? And I think the biggest thing is it has a Tsunami immunity. Being a water type can get around Tsunami. So what we've seen in playtesting is oftentimes Narpoon is used to search out things like Frostics, which can then pull things out of your underworld. But there's a handful of other combinations that it can utilize. And I think this is going to be one of the most impactful cards going into Frostfall, as I'm sure everyone is going to be looking to run those Frost decks. Cryoling, Cryo Scorch we just revealed, and Parawatt. Some really awesome stuff. Narpoon is going to be a key to some of those strategies, again, fishing out those 1-cost Frost Elestrals. Narpoon has a very awesome Ascension that I'm excited to reveal today, and that is Whalance. Now, Whalance is a Water and Frost Elestral with 8 attack and 4 defense. A pretty strong body in itself, and it's got a very unique effect. When this Whalance destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, you can search that player's deck for any number of cards with the same name as that Elestral and send them straight to the underworld. And you might be like, well, A-Drive, okay, so you destroyed a Nekruff and you get to get rid of your opponent's other 2 Nekruff. But remember what I told you guys about titles. We talked about Ambrosia Cornucopia having a title. I showed you guys more Frost Terror form having a title. You might be able to see where I'm going with this. As the game of Elestrals progresses and new Elestral cards with titles are revealed, the opportunity to run an Elestral with the same name can far expand beyond just 3 copies. And that is where Whalance could be absolutely insane in the right situations. I'm excited to see what Whalance does over the coming months and years in Elestrals. I really think this card could be really fun to run, especially as a side deck option. But I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Whalance, the new Water and Frost Elestral. We're not done there. We got 2 more Elestrals to talk about. We've got Frostmite, one of our first Frost Elestrals revealed many months ago. 3/1, very small body, but it does have a super cool effect. You can target an opponent's Elestral and give it -5 defense until the end phase. I'll tell you what, this card is going to prove to be very important in the future, and I'm not going to tell you why, but I will tell you that Frostmite has some relevance down the road for that effect alone. But nonetheless, still a really good Elestral. You could drop defense stats by 5. That means you're hitting over Astrabits, and you're hitting over almost everything, right? You can hit over anything with 7 defense and below, just naturally with Frostmite. So this thing's pretty good. It's just a matter of getting your opponent's Elestrals to defense. But if you can manage that, Frostmite can be really good. It kind of serves in a way like Veritaqua, but without kind of having that suppression aspect. But I think it's going to be really fun to use. So I hope we see some Frostmite action in Frostfall. And last but not least, it's Ascension. Some of you detectives out there happened to see the side on the Cryo Scorch starter deck that I revealed yesterday, and it did indeed say Polarachne as a new Elestral, and that is exactly what we're revealing today. Warmite's Ascension is Polarachne, also the Nexus form of Florachne. It is a 2 attacker with 5 defense, so pretty low stats, but its effect makes up for that. Your opponent's Elestrals get -2 attack, so right away, it by default essentially becomes like a 4/7 in a way, right? Just because of that. And then its effect is kind of bonkers. You can expend a Frost Spirit in order to target and destroy an Elestral with 2 or less attack. So if you can drop attack stats with Polarachne, you can actually destroy Elestrals with this passive effect, with this active effect actually, where you can expend that Spirit and destroy those Elestrals. So those more defensive Elestrals get wrecked by Polarachne. And if you kind of find other ways to drop stats with things like Zeus, Polarachne can become even more problematic for an opponent to deal with, especially with that incredible defense with 5, and then ultimately it becoming 7 because of the buff, or the debuff rather, that it provides to opponents with that attack drop. So Polarachne, a really cool 2-drop. Don't forget there's other combo pieces here, right? Things like Frostics, which allow you to special cast out Elestrals. You've got things like Tadflow, which allow you to ascend quickly. I think cards like Polarachne could actually make a pretty big impact in the metagame. I'm excited to see what happens there. But that is your reveals for today, ladies and gentlemen. The best news is there's still some really awesome stuff to come. I haven't showed you guys everything, so get excited. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to get those first edition base set booster boxes with the discount. I'll see you guys tomorrow.